Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep today into something absolutely crucial for sounding really natural and fluent in English.
Hmm.
Something that unlocks a whole different level of conversation, but let's be honest, can feel like a real puzzle.
Definitely.
English phrasal verbs.
They truly are a hurdle for many learners. The challenge is that the meaning often isn't just the sum of its parts, you know?
Right.
You look at the verb and the particle, and together they create something completely new, which can be quite confusing initially.
Exactly. And yet native speakers rely on them constantly.
Oh, the test.
They pepper our everyday conversations. You hear them all the time in movies and TV shows. Even in more relaxed writing,
Mm-hmm.
they are the key to sounding.
Mm.
Well, less like a textbook and more like you're really part of the flow.
That's precisely it. They often replace more formal or single word verbs, especially when we're just chatting or, in informal situations. So, our mission in this deep dive is to understand what phrasal verbs are, why they matter so much for fluency, and then really explore a ton of common examples.
Digging into how they're used.
Exactly, how they're used in real life scenarios, all drawn from the sources you shared with us.
Okay, so let's get right to it then.
Yeah.
What exactly is a phrasal verb?
Okay, think of it as a team up. It's a main verb joining forces with one or sometimes two small words, which we call particles.
Particles, right.
Yeah, these particles are usually prepositions or adverbs. The magic happens when they combine. They create a meaning that's often totally different from the original verb on its own.
And that's where that puzzle comes in, right?
Mm.
Like the source material gives the example of give. If I just say give, it means, well, to hand something over, like give me the remote. Simple.
Right, simple transfer. But add the particle up, and suddenly give up means to stop trying.
Completely different.
Totally. It's not about handing anything over physically. It's about surrender, letting go of an effort. I can't solve this riddle. I give up.
See, the meaning shifts completely. This non-literal aspect is exactly why they can be tricky, but it's also why mastering them makes your English sound so much more natural and dynamic.
Yeah, they add nuance
Uh,
and conciseness, too.
Preciseness, how so?
Well, what's really interesting is how efficient they are. A simple two-word combination can express an action or state very specific to informal English, often replacing a longer, more formal verb.
Absolutely. And the best way to get comfortable with these is probably to see them in context, to hear them being used.
Definitely.
Our sources grouped a lot of common ones, which is super helpful. Let's tackle one of the most common verbs that loves to team up. Get.
Get. Yeah. Get is incredibly versatile. It forms a huge number of phrasal verbs, and these are used constantly.
Okay, so sticking with get, one you probably hear right at the start of the day, get up.
Ah, yes. Simple but essential. That's just to physically rise from bed. Like most weekdays, I get up around 6.2, or try to anyway.
Got it. How about get along? Sometimes it's get along with someone.
Yeah, that's about relationships. If you get along with someone, it means you have a good, friendly relationship. You click.
Okay,
I'm lucky I really get along with all my neighbors.
nice. And then there's get over. This one feels like it could mean different things,
It does. Context is really key here. Often, it means to recover from something difficult.
like being sick.
Yeah, exactly. That could be a physical illness, like it took me a week to get over that cold. Or it could be emotional, recovering from a difficult experience, maybe even a breakup. We'll probably see that one again later.
Okay, interesting how one phrasal verb can stretch like that. And finally, for this get group, uh, get back.
That's usually pretty straightforward. It simply means to return to a place. What time did you get back home last night?
Okay. The source material even includes a little chat that uses some of these.
Oh, yeah.
Let's try it out.
Mm.
Imagine I'm asking you about a trip you just took. Hey, how was your trip?
Oh, it's great. I just got back yesterday, finally.
Nice. Did you get along with the people you were traveling with?
Yeah, totally. We had a fantastic time. Everyone got along really well. No issues at all.
Oh, that's good to hear. Traveling can be tough if you don't mesh well.
For sure.
Hope you get over the jet lag quickly.
Thanks. It's hitting me hard, I tell you. I could barely get up this morning. Seriously.
See how seamlessly those fit into just a quick, natural conversation?
Yeah,
That's the power.
definitely. Okay, so moving on, another incredibly common verb for forming phrasal verbs is take.
Take. Right. And the first one listed here, take off, has a couple of pretty distinct meanings.
It certainly does. You might hear it when someone is removing clothing or accessories.
Like, please take off your shoes at the door.
Exactly. Or you'll definitely hear it when talking about airplanes. The plane is scheduled to take off at 8 a.m., leaving the ground.
Fascinating that the same verb-particle combo can mean such different things. Okay, next up, take up.
To take up something means to start a new hobby, sport, or activity. Like, she decided to take up painting in her retirement.
Okay, take after. That sounds familial.
It is. This one is about resemblance, specifically resembling a family member in appearance, personality, or even habits. He takes after his father. They're both very stubborn.
Huh. Relatable. Okay, and take out. This one also seems to have more than one meaning.
Yes, it can mean to remove something, like taking trash out of the house. Could you take out the garbage on your way?
The fun jobs.
Right. But it also has a very common social meaning. To invite someone on a date. He finally asked her. He finally took her out to dinner.
Okay. The sources actually put these take verbs into a little story.
Oh, right. Let's hear it. How did it go?
Okay, listen to how these fit together. Last year, I decided to take up hiking. It was a bit of a challenge at first. My friends say I take after my adventurous grandmother, who was always exploring. Before I go hiking, I always take off my jewelry. Sometimes I even take my dog out on the trail with me.
That's a great way to practice putting them into your own narrative, your own story. It really helps them stick.
Yeah, it makes it personal.
Definitely. Now let's look at some phrasal verbs you'll find yourself using constantly in just everyday casual conversation. The real basics.
And absolute essentials like turn on and turn off. Can't live without those.
Indispensable. For starting and stopping machines or devices, don't forget to turn off the lights when you leave the room or turn them on.
And similar, put on and take off for clothes.
Exactly. It's cold outside. You should put on a coat. And there's take off again. We just saw that one.
Right? Shows how common they are. Wake up. Simple.
To stop sleeping. Did you wake up early today?
Go out.
To leave your home for social activities, fun, dinner, movie, whatever. We're planning to go out for pizza tonight.
Come in.
Simple entry, like it's raining, quickly come in, or just welcoming someone.
And one I definitely use a lot. Hurry up.
Meaning, move faster. We're going to be late if you don't hurry up. Essential for parents, I think.
Huh. Probably.
Yeah.
The sources even have a short skit using some of these daily life ones.
Oh.
I can totally imagine this conversation happening in a busy household. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll be the one waking someone up.
Okay, I'm sleepy.
Hey, wake up.
Yeah.
You're going to be late.
Ugh, I just woke up. Give me a minute, seriously.
Out of time. Hurry up. Put on your clothes and come in the kitchen. Breakfast is ready. Let's go.
Okay. Let me just turn off my alarm first. It's still buzzing.
And turn off your lamp, too. Save electricity.
All right. Perfect demonstration of how they're just woven into those kinds of daily interactions. It's just natural.
They really are the fabric of casual English, aren't they?
Totally.
Shifting gears a little, let's cover some phrasal verbs that are super handy in professional or academic settings, for work and study.
Right. These are essential for more formal communication sometimes, even though they're phrasal verbs. First up, hand in.
To submit something, right? Like homework or a report. I need to hand in this essay by Friday.
Exactly. Then look over.
This means to quickly review or check something like, can you look over my presentation slides before the meeting? Just a quick check.
Yeah, not a deep dive, just a look over. Next, catch up on.
If you've fallen behind, you need to catch up. So I was sick yesterday, so I need to catch up on my emails. Or maybe miss classes.
Right, and call off.
I used to cancel an event or plan. They had to call off the outdoor concert because of the storm.
Yeah, unfortunately. Fill out.
This is for completing a form or application. All those details. Please fill out this survey before you leave.
And a very practical one, especially in offices. Run out of.
When you have no more of something left, oh no, we've run out of coffee. Someone needs to buy some more. A disaster.
The worst kind. So here's a little story from the source combining some of these work-study verbs. Imagine this.
Okay.
Yesterday was one of those days at work. Stressful. First, I had to fill out a new expense report form. Then I realized we had run out of printer paper just as I needed to print an urgent document. Naturally, I asked my manager to look over a proposal, but she was busy trying to catch up on her own tasks. And then, to top it all off, our big team meeting was called off at the last minute.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare day. But yeah, those are exactly the kinds of verbs you'd use to describe those situations. Very common.
Absolutely, very real-world scenarios. Now, let's move to phrasal verbs related to feelings, emotions, and how we interact socially. relationships and stuff.
These are great for talking about relationships. Yeah, first,
Cheer up. To become happier or to make someone else feel happier. She was feeling down, so I sent her flowers to cheer her up. A nice gesture.
always good. Break up.
This specifically refers to ending a romantic relationship. They had been together for 5 years before they broke up. It's usually sad.
Usually.
Fall for it.
Meaning to fall in love with someone, often quite suddenly. They met on vacation and completely fell for each other, like in the movies.
And get over. Hang on, didn't we talk about get over earlier with like getting over a cold?
We did, you remembered. And
Yeah.
here it is again, showing that versatility we mentioned.
In this context, get over means to recover specifically from a breakup or the end of a significant relationship. Emotionally recover. It can take time to get over someone.
Right. Same phrasal verb, different specific context. Good point about watching for that. Okay. And finally, hang out.
Ah, classic. A very casual phrase for spending time together socially, usually without a specific plan. Do you want to hang out this weekend? We could just watch movies. Super informal.
Let's do the short conversation using these, like one friend comforting another.
Okay.
Hey, are you okay? You seem a bit quiet today.
Yeah. Well, actually, John and I broke up last week.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's really tough.
Yeah.
Look, how about we hang out on Saturday? We could go for a walk or something. Maybe that would help cheer you up a little bit.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to get over it, but it's just hard right now. It feels raw.
I totally get it. Take your time, seriously. But know your friends are here for you, okay?
Thanks.
Yeah.
But no, your friends are here for you, okay?
Thanks. Yeah. See how those capture the emotional side of things? They're very human verbs, really. They absolutely are. And for our final category from the sources, let's look at phrasal verbs that are super useful when you're traveling.
Essential for navigating hotels, airports, and just getting around on journeys. First, set off.
To begin a journey, right, to start out, we packed the car the night before so we could set off early in the morning.
Exactly. Then, when you arrive at a hotel, you check in. And when you leave, you check out. Standard procedure.
Right, the arrival and departure bits. We can check in after 2 p.m. and you have to check out by 11 a.m. Don't be late.
No. For air travel, you have take off and touch down.
Oh, take off again. Third time. We saw it meaning to remove clothes for a plane to leave the ground.
And here it is again for planes leaving. And touchdown is simply when the plane lands. Our flight took off an hour late, but thankfully we touched down on time.
Yahoo. Okay. Another common one is pick up.
Meaning to collect someone, often by car. Can you pick me up from the train station when I get back?
Sure. And the opposite, drop off.
To take someone to a place and leave them there. I'll drop you off at the airport entrance. Makes things easier.
Definitely. The source material puts these into a little travel story too, like the others.
Yeah, I remember this one. It went something like, last summer, I decided to set off on a spontaneous weekend trip. I picked up my friend Sarah from her place, and we drove down the coast. We checked in to a small B&B right by the beach. The next day, after checking out, I dropped her off at the bus station before heading home myself.
Nice. A complete mini narrative using all those travel verbs. Super practical. Makes it easy to picture.
It does. So now that we've gone through quite a few, the sources included a quick practice section, like a fill-in-the-blanks quiz.
Good idea.
It's a good way to test yourself, see what's stuck.
Okay, let's do it. We'll read the sentence, leave a short pause for you, the listener, to think, and then we'll say the answer. Try to say the phrasal verb out loud during the pause. Ready?
Let's go.
Here's the first one. I need to do my homework before tomorrow.
Pause. Hand in.
Sentence number 2. She finally stroke her cold.
Pause. Got over.
Sentence number 3. Please the lights before you leave.
Pause. Turn off.
Sentence number 4. We want the wedding because of the storm.
Pause. Called off.
And the last one. They last month and are still friends.
Abrupt.
Broke up.
Oh.
How did you do? Don't worry if you miss some. Honestly, the goal is just to start recognizing and using them more.
Exactly. It's all about exposure and practice. It takes time. So what are the best ways to actually learn phrasal verbs effectively? The sources gave some pretty solid tips.
Yeah, one good tip is organizing them, maybe by the main verb like we did today, grouping the get verbs or the take verbs. It helps you see related meanings or sometimes the different meanings.
Yeah, structure helps. Another key piece of advice is don't just stare at lists and try to memorize them cold. Use them. Create your own sentences that are personal to you about your life. That makes them much more memorable.
Building on that, try writing short stories using several phrasal verbs together, just like the examples we heard today.
Right.
It forces you to use them in context, which is how you really learn.
Shadowing is also incredibly helpful. Listen to native speakers, maybe in this deep dive or in movies, podcasts, whatever, pause, and try to repeat exactly what they said. Pay attention to how they use the phrasal verbs, the intonation. It really helps with rhythm and natural usage.
Good one. And maybe the most important tip, be patient with yourself. Seriously.
Hmm.
Learning phrasal verbs is a journey, not a sprint. There are a lot of them, and they take time to learn and internalize, but the effort is totally worth it in the end.
Definitely. Which brings us to a question learners often ask, which the source is highlighted. Why are phrasal verbs so confusing?
And the core reason, as we've kind of seen, is that you often can't guess the meaning from the individual words.
Right.
You have to learn them as a complete unit, usually in context. They're less about strict logic and more about, well, how the language has evolved. Convention.
Yeah, exactly. Another common question, should I focus on learning phrasal verbs or more formal single word verbs? Like, choose one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Honestly, you really need both. Formal verbs are crucial for more academic or professional writing in certain situations.
Sure.
But for everyday conversation, for connecting with people informally, understanding movies and casual chats, phrasal verbs are pretty much non-negotiable. They make you sound fluent and, well, natural.
Right, they bridge that gap. And finally, the big question, what's the quickest way to learn them? Is there a magic bullet?
Huh, if only. No, but consistent active practice is the key. Use flashcards if that helps. Use language apps, listen actively, and most importantly, try to use them when you speak or write. Don't be afraid to try.
Make it fun, too.
Yeah, make it fun and interactive. The more you encounter them and try to use them yourself, the faster they'll start to feel like second nature.
What's fascinating here is that it's not really about finding a shortcut, is it? It's more about consistent, engaged effort with the language itself, immersing yourself.
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into English phrasal verbs,
Yeah.
it's clear they're a big topic.
They might seem daunting at first, yeah, with their unpredictable meanings and sometimes multiple uses, but honestly, putting in the time to learn and use them will dramatically improve how natural and fluent your English sounds. It's a huge step up.
So don't be afraid to jump in and use them, even if you make mistakes. That's honestly how you learn best. Keep listening, keep repeating, and most importantly, keep practicing them in your own conversations.
So what does this all mean, really? Well, mastering phrasal verbs isn't just another vocabulary lesson. It's almost like gaining access to the secret language of casual, everyday English.
A secret handshake.
Kind of. It's the key that unlocks deeper, more natural connections with native speakers and allows you to truly participate in spontaneous conversations, understand jokes, and just feel more comfortable. It's a challenge, yes, but it's also an incredibly rewarding step in your language journey.